everybody, Dr. Carmen Bryant, Psychological Health Consultants and Services with my program, Redefining Yourself. Program that was developed for women that are in, thinking of leaving, or have left domestic violent relationships, especially. My focus is on narcissist abuse recovery. And so I posted a video, a video that I posted earlier. I was commenting on some of the comments. And so I wanted to share the comments with you guys, but I was asked to speak on a specific topic. And so I didn't want the two videos to run together to make it this one long movie reel, so that you guys have the opportunity to go back and watch both videos if you want to. But one of my viewers did ask me to make a video to discuss what do narcissists think about sex. Okay, so let me go and let me look this up. I got to pull my mouse close to me. See my mouse? Pull my mouse close to me. Okay. So let's talk about that. If you have not already, please go to my YouTube channel, Dr. Carmen Bryant with a T, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. You'll see me with a white shirt and a giant bun somewhere on my head. But subscribe to the channel and then hit the bell. And when you hit the bell, it'll let you know whenever I go live. I usually go live on my professional Facebook page and my YouTube channel. When I travel, I won't be able to go on both channels live at the same time, but I can go live on the YouTube channel that has majority of my viewers on there, and we can chit chat and you can see where I'm at. Well, not really, but I can take you out with me on the YouTube channel, but I'm only able to broadcast on one channel at a time. And so because I have one camera, I can't walk around with two cameras in my hand at the same time. But I just wanted to come in today, and if you have not, also my professional Facebook page, which is Psychological Health Consultants and Services, please take the opportunity to share these videos. You never know who you're helping, okay? So let's go and talk about how a narcissist sees sex, okay? First of all, everything that a narcissist does, he does it or she does it for the purpose of gaining supply. Narcissists do not see sex the same way that we see sex. Sex normally between two consenting adults, two consenting individuals, not child abuse, but two consenting adults, two consenting individuals. And the legal age, I guess, is 16, 17, 18. I'm not sure. I don't know what your law is in your state, but two legal consenting adults that have sex. What sex, remember we were talking about the chemical in your brain called the oxytocin. Oxytocin is that bonding chemical, and it is also released when you have sex. And it helps with the bonding. That doesn't mean, like one of the people on Google somewhere said, it doesn't mean that you have a one-night stand and that oxytocin is released and then all of a sudden you guys have a lifelong relationship. That's not true. You might think about them, you might not think about them, you know. For some men, it's not that easy. You know, it takes more than just, sex to bond someone with another person, but the oxytocin is released. The purpose of sex is to connect you guys, or connect to individuals at a deeper level. Your emotions are aroused, your emotions are wide open, and that's a deeper level of intimacy, a deeper level of connection between one human being to another human being. Animals, their own animal kingdom, their world, they do things out of instinct to procreate, but two human beings, they come together, and when they have a sexual experience, the sexual experience is usually to bond you closer, to that, for that relationship to be closer, to experience something that no other person has experienced between the two of you. Not everybody gets into a relationship a virgin, so we know that. And I'm just keeping it real, you guys. I'm a therapist. This is what I talk about all day long. So if you're shy, or thank goodness I can't see your face and your cheeks turn red, this is just something that's real life and we need to talk about, okay? So when two people connect in a sexual experience, that oxytocin is released, that creates a bonding. You hear the terms soul ties. It creates that tie between two souls, emotions, your mind. The narcissist, especially like a somatic narcissist, uses this. Everything that they do it for the purpose of power and control. They always want to dominate and control. And what they do is they'll use the sex to have you bond to them. They do not, it's not that they don't believe in, they're afraid of intimacy. When I say they're afraid of intimacy, that is too vulnerable for them. And so they will never intimately connect with people. Some of you have probably had sex with your partner who is a narcissist, or your husband, wife that is a narcissist, but it feels like when you connect with them, they're so emotionally detached. There's no intimacy between the two of you guys. You guys are not connected. You are connecting with them and you want them to connect with you, but you feel that disconnect between the two of you because you see sex one way, but the narcissist sees sex as a power and control mechanism. On one of the sites that I went to, it says, let's look. I really like this one. This is Mental Health Matters. This is mentalhealthmatters.com. And even though the topic says one thing, I'm going to pick out what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so why narcissists cheat on their spouses and have extramarital affairs. Okay, first of all, they don't want intimacy. And think about it, if you having sex with a bunch of partners, you'll never be able to connect to one. They have one intimate, or you may be the main source of supply or the intimate partner in the relationship. And they don't want to have a deep, intimate connection with you. And I'm sorry, you guys, this camera is so defined. I can see everything. So forgive me, you guys. I was eating a few minutes ago too, okay? Forgive me, you guys. I'm just amazed at how beautiful this camera is. This is my daughter's phone. But this is beautiful, beautiful camera. Got to get me one of these. This is really nice, really good quality. So if you guys think about getting an iPhone 10, it's very good quality camera. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. So they don't want to have a deep relationship with anybody. They don't want to have an intimate relationship with anybody. It makes them too vulnerable. Usually they have other intimate sources of supply. They have sex or they have multiple partners because they never really have to, they never have to intimately connect with anybody. Sex is sex. Sex is for the purpose of gratifying them and releasing or, releasing. But a lot of narcissists, and I'm only going by my experience. This is not a general statement, meaning that this is a answer to all experiences from therapists or personal experiences, because each one of you have had a different experiences. Therapists that have worked with people that have been in a narcissistic relationship or have worked with narcissists, they may have a different experience. I'm just giving you the experience and the information that I have, and this is I'm a limited source, a limited resource. But a lot of the narcissists, the ones that I have diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, or a lot of those women that are coming out of relationships with a narcissist, they always say that there's something perverse about the narcissist. They usually have a lot of problems with intimacy. They have a lot of problems within the sexual department, meaning that at one particular time it may have been good sex, but it's almost like they're perverse. They're addicted to pornography. They're addicted to masturbation. Some of them are addicted to illegal things. And remember, they have no limits. As long as they always assume they're never going to get caught. So a lot of them have also unnatural desires, such as inanimate objects, bestiality, masturbation, pornography, child porn, and the more you feed into that, the more you will have a craving for it and you want to try it. So this is, when you're talking about sex addictions or sexual perpetrators or predators, if you go read more about the when you have like sex predators and sex offenders, some of them have most all of them have very unnatural sexual addictions or sexual desires. A narcissist, they're normally not normal in the sexual department. Now, for some people, they say that that's the best sex I've ever had. That's because of the fact that they know that it can be used for a tool against you, as a weapon against you. And so because of the fact that you are thrilled at or they know that you are impressed with their sexual acts, that is what they will use against you to control you or to create control. But they don't have the same intimate feelings as you have for them. To them, you are an object. That's all you are, is an object. That's what you are. And the best way to control you, if they find out that you are completely gratified or thrilled with their sexual performance, that's what they will use to make sure they can always maintain control. Some women won't leave the man because of the sex. Ain't no sex that good in the world, girls. No, even men. Ain't no sex that good in the world that you're gonna let this person devalue you like that. And I know some of you have emailed me and let me know that this is a problem that you have run into. That was the best sex you ever had. But there's no sex that good that you would allow a person to devalue. And when you learn, that's when you have to make a decision to do better. And so some of you have come out of relationships and this is new to you, and you're learning something, but it's good. You're learning something. So you don't have to repeat the same mistake twice, okay? or for some it's more twice, you know, but you learn, you live and you learn, okay? So I don't want you guys to feel embarrassed or ashamed about that. So let's look. So in this article, Mental Health Matters, this is written by Sam Vaknin in May 2010. And I'm going to read over a few things that I found pretty interesting. In the quest for narcissist applied, the somatic narcissist, remember the somatic narcissist is the one that's totally encompassed with their looks, sexual exploits, their beauty, their beauty, their looks, their material possessions, what they use, whatever they can materialistically to impress you, and sex. They find out that you, or that you find out that they're good in bed, they'll use that to control you. Okay, narcissists are easily bored, and so being in a relationship with you, they're doing this thing. There's only so much you can do, and eventually they just get bored, and so they'll go out and they'll start looking for a new supply. And some narcissists, not all of them, some narcissists will choose those that are younger than them and less experienced than them, because that experience with a younger person that is less experienced makes it great fuel for them because they don't have anything to compare it to. Excuse me. Let's see. Let's look. Narcissists feel superior and important and so entitled to be above the law and to engage in behaviors that are frowned upon and considered socially unacceptable in others. They reject and vehemently, resent all limitations and conditions placed upon them by their partners. They act on their impulses and desires encumbered by social conventions and strictures. Marriage, monogamy, and childbearing and rearing are common activities that are characterized by the average person, right? The narcissist feels robbed of his uniqueness or her uniqueness by these pursuits and coerce into the relationship and into roles such as husband and father that reduce him or her to the role father or husband or wife, that reduce him to the lowest or her to the lowest of common denominators. The narcissistic injury leads him or her to rebel and reassert, I lost my place, his or her superiority and specialness by maintaining extramarital affairs. Okay, remember this, for the women. If your desire is to be a wife or to be married, and they know that, but that's the way they can lock you in, they don't look at marriage as a beautiful institution, marriage, monogamous, one-on-one, building our life together. They don't look at that. They look at it as, that's the way that I'm going to control you, and this is the way that I can get you and pull you in under my control. And so if marriage is very relevant to you, they'll marry you so that they can hold on to you, but they don't look at marriage the same way you look at marriage. That's why they don't have a problem with having extramarital affairs, because, okay, when I grow out of it, I'll grow out of it. Until then, you have to just accept it like it is. And some women are like, okay, I'm going to believe that he's going to grow out of it. No, they don't look at marriage the same way as you do, as a committed relationship between two adults or two people that love each other. They just look at it as a way to get control of you and to bond you to them or bind them to you, so that they'll maintain control over you. That is the way that they have hoovered and held on to you as their property. You are an object, you are their property. But they never intended on never having an affair, because they're going to have extramarital affairs. Those rules don't apply to them. They don't feel the same way you do. They don't honor marriages the same way you do. Let's see. And they'll make you feel like you forced them into the relationship, but they went into the marriage to hold on to you. But there's a difference between when they're dating you, because they're trying to get something from you. When they marry you and they finally get what they're looking for, to them they're bored and they start looking for a new supply. That if you want children, they'll give you children just to hold on to you. Even when they leave, they know they still have their foot in the door because you and them have something in common, which is maybe a child. And remember, there's no such thing as co-parenting, so you may as well forget that. There's no co-parenting. It doesn't matter what you say, they're not going to listen to you anyway, because they'll use the child to get at you if you have completely disconnected from them. So they'll use the child to cause you to react. They know that that can get you to react through your child or through the children, okay? But once you lock them into the responsibility and then you begin holding them accountable as a husband or a wife, this freaks them out, because they never wanted that responsibility, that part. They wanted that glamorized, you're my girlfriend, you're my boyfriend. But I didn't want to be put into a responsibility, and all of a sudden now I'm in this responsibility. That's why a lot of them would jump from relationship, and a lot of them do have a lot of marriages under their belt. And as soon as they jump into a new one, get married, and then they find out that the new source supply, because it's all a honeymoon phase, the new source supply has expectations and accountability, and they have expectation too. So this is like the last relationship. I don't want this, so that's why you see them jumping through a lot of relationship and extramarital affairs, because they don't have to have that commitment with these other, but as soon as let's say the other sources of supply hold them accountable or want to spend more time, they usually discard them and move them somewhere else. And usually they don't discard them for good. They always make sure there's an open door so I can come back. I can hoover you, make you feel good, and I can come back. This is how they think. Let's see. They're terrified of intimacy. Their behavior is best characterized as an approach, avoidance, repetition complex. Adultery is an excellent tool in the attempt to retard intimacy, meaning to slow down, and resort to a less threatening mode of interaction. Okay. Narcissists are control freaks. They have having a relationship applies a give and take and restrain or a train of compromises, which narcissist acutely interprets to mean a loss of control over his or her life. To assert or reassert control, the narcissist initiates other relationships in which he or she dictates the terms of the engagement. In other words, love affairs. Okay, so let's see. So the somatic narcissist, remember we were talking about the somatic narcissist, uses sex to conquer and secure new sources of narcissistic supply. Consequently, the somatic rarely gets emotionally involved with his targets. Remember, I just said that. They don't get emotionally involved. They give you they have the persona, they give you the illusion that they're emotionally invested in the relationship, but they've never been emotionally invested in the relationship. You are a source of supply, and whatever it is that you're demanding or you want from them, they will supply that to you in order to get what they want from you. Let's see. His or her is a mechanical act devoid of intimacy and commitment. And so even like, remember I said, some of you have been in a relationship with a narcissist. I can't speak for all of you, but some of you have been in a relationship with a narcissist where when you are in that place of intimacy and you have sexual relationships with that narcissist, it's almost like mechanical. It's almost like you do the same thing all the time at the same time. Give you an example of what I've heard before. They always have the intimate relationship in the evening, at night, after they take a shower, and they do the same thing over and over again. Oral sex, and then get up and go to sleep. And so it's like you have no connection with them. But it's very routine. It's very the same mechanical thing. They do the same thing over and over again. You may want to try new things. They keep doing the same thing. And because that lets you know that they're really not as skilled as you think they are. And when I say that, they remember, and I don't mean that as an insult. What I'm saying is that they pick up from other sources of supply what to do. If you do this in a place of intimacy in your sexual act, and this person does this, they're learning something from each person. You may think that that's the best lover that you've ever had, but they're picking up skills from different people to implement it into their toolbox to use it. They are not unique individuals for themselves. They have no unique. So a lot of times what happens is they're very mechanical when it comes to you, and they do the same thing over and over again, same time, same place, same situation, and that is their routine. And you have no connection with this individual, and you want to connect with them, but you're connected with them emotionally, and you may be totally satisfied, but it's almost like that they're not really satisfied. They're not really satisfied. They just, yes, it was great and whatever, and they'll give you what you want, and then they're on a pursuit again, and You may have times in which they stop sleeping in the room with you. When they stop sleeping in the room, do know that they're looking, or sleep in the same bed with you, they're looking for supply. That's what they're doing. They've grown bored. Let's see. Doesn't matter what acrobats you perform in the bedroom, it'll never, ever, ever, ever be good enough for a narcissist. Remember that. So those of you that are trying to hook a man with your sexual prowess or your sexual abilities, it doesn't matter. And like I said, you can look like a mud duck too. It doesn't matter. But it's never enough for them. It's never enough for them. Okay. You'll never be able to measure up. So let's see. The cerebral narcissists, those that are more thinkers or intelligent, educated, or more cerebral, more thinkers, feels that sex is demeaning and degrading. Acting on one's sex drive is a primitive, basic, and common impulse. The cerebral narcissist convinces himself or herself that he is above all that, endowed as he is with superior intelligence and superhuman self-control. Let's see. But still, for both types of narcissists, it's still used as an instrument to increase the number of sources of narcissistic supply. And it's an efficient weapon in the narcissist arsenal that that he or she makes makes use of. There we go. In other words, the narcissist cannot obtain adoration. So if the narcissist cannot obtain adoration, admiration, approval, applause, or any other kind of attention by other means intellectually, then he or she's going to resort to sex. So let's see. He or she may become a nymphomaniac, indiscriminately engages in sex with multiple partners. His or her sex partners are considered by him or her as objects. Sources of narcissistic supply. And when a woman is hooked or a man is hooked, they'll do anything to get that gratification again. They'll do anything to get that. That's what they're looking for. Let's look. It is through the processing of successful seduction and sexual conquest that the narcissist derives his badly needed narcissistic fix. Okay, so let's look. It's a lot. Okay, let me go back. I wrote a little note for myself in regards to the female. And so for the female narcissist, they look at, everybody has a need for sex, how your culture taught you, how your religious belief system taught you in reference to, sex, when to have sex, when it's appropriate to have sex, that's personal. And when I say personal, it's each and every person's personal belief system. And one thing that I teach in counseling is that, especially in marriage counseling, is that, a man has a need for sex. They need sex. And it is our responsibility as the wives, or whatever relationship you're in, to provide that sex, that sex. You have to, and usually not in narcissistic relationship. This is not what I teach in narcissistic relationship. This is what I teach in marriage counseling with couples that are coming in and having some problems. And what I usually teach the women is that you have to divorce-proof your relationship. And to divorce-proof your relationship, you have to understand that a man's need to have sex, that is a need, that is a drive. And to divorce-proof it, your husband or your spouse or whomever, to divorce-proof that relationship, you have to provide him. I'm not saying that this should be every hour on the hour type of thing, but he has needs that needs to be met. And so for you to make sure that his needs are met, it puts the relationship in a position. In other words, okay, let me put it like this. Same way that my mentor put it, same way I put it in counseling. We're not getting any younger, ladies. We're not getting any younger, okay? And that we have these beautiful millennials and these young people that are in work with our husbands. And they, men are attracted by what they see. You got women in there that, like my mentor always says, everything is sitting up here, everything is tight. We done had a few kids, and so Lane Bryant could be our best friends. Whatever, girdled up, tied up, strapped up. You got some in the military 100-mile-per-hour tape. We done strapped it and taped it up, but here these girls are walking around and everything is fitting in place. Everything is in place. Nothing is jiggling. Nothing. what do you think? The man has to go into an environment like that all the time, and you don't provide him with basic needs within a relationship, basic need of sex. And so now you're putting him in a position where, whether you're mad at him, you don't want to give him sex, you're putting him in a position that makes it tempting, because some of these women, they have no shame in their game. They are more aggressive than men are. And so to divorce-proof your relationship, or to infidelity, or what's the word I'm looking for? What was the word that we were looking for up here? Extramarital affair, proof your marriage, is to make sure that both of your needs are met. A woman's needs are to feel secure, to feel affirmed, to feel affirmation, to feel, that you care for them, to be safe, to be taken care of. A man's need is to be respected, and they have a need for sex. And it's our responsibility to make sure that they're taken care of in a relationship, and you want to divorce proof them. You wonder why, Sally Mae, who's 30 years old, and your husband's 50, 60 years old, and she's flirting with him, and you wondering why, he's trying to release with you and connect with you, and he can't get the, then you wonder why he has an affair, even though he may not be the type of man that has an affair, and so I said that to say this. A woman narcissist, though, will look at a man's need for sex as being a weakness, and so they'll look at men wanting sex, which is a natural thing for a man to want sex. They'll look at it as a weakness, and what's the other thing I wrote in here? Yeah, they look at a man's desire and a man's need for sex. They look at it as a weakness, and so they become almost disrespectful, or they don't respect a man anymore, because they don't understand that is a natural need for a man. So they just look at the man as being weak. They'll give it to him as an obligation, to do it, but they don't have, he's a pervert, and he always wants sex, and he, so that is that's a female narcissist, okay? Let's see. Let me look. Is this making any sense? I hope so. There's a lot of stuff on here, but I just want to get the basic stuff. And so let me look at the question that was asked. Let me look how the question was asked. One of the viewers said that that the experience with the narcissist is that the sex was everything. That sex was everything for him, and that she does admit that the narcissist was the best lover she ever had, but she found out that he was a pervert, that he would visit prostitutes, have sex with prostitutes, addicted to pornography. So I would assume he also was addicted to masturbation, and would watch pornography when they were having intersexual act. Let's see. When the viewer was discarded, she said that he had a smirk on his face and made sure to drive the stake deep into her heart by saying that he already had a new 10-year younger woman, a woman that was 10 years younger than her, to have sex with. And so hopefully this video answered some of those questions. A younger prey is less experienced. They've learned a lot from the people that they have been with. He seems to be using sex as a weapon. As you see, there is no intimacy between, there's no intimacy in the sexual act. Even with you, though he may have been the best lover that you've ever had, he still had no intimacy with you. There is no emotional connection with you. You had an emotional connection with him because your oxytocin, bonded you with that individual. But remember, there's another video that I did that they found that the oxytocin levels in the narcissist brain, I think, was either malfunctioning or didn't produce as well. I have to go back and look at that, okay? But theirs don't operate the same way that ours operate, the ones with normal oxytocin release. And so as you see, he used this as a weapon, as a tool for power and control, and found that he may have been very productive in what he did, and that it was easy for him to please a woman, but he never connected with a woman. He never intimately and emotionally connected at that level with anybody. This is why he was with prostitutes. You don't connect with a prostitute. You were a prostitute. People don't fall in love with prostitutes. If you do, okay, that's you. But, you know, a younger woman who is less experienced, you know, the women that he has been with had taught him different things to put into his knowledge bank, you know, concerning sex. You know, they're not individual people, but that is what worked for you, and that was able to maintain control over you. So hopefully that answered your question. Hopefully, even though with all that reading, I had to kind of read a little bit to give you some information, but you can find that article in its length. You can find that on Mental Health Matters, and it's why narcissists cheat on their spouses and extramarital affairs. So it talks about it a little bit. Well, it's a long article, so it talks about it in there. So hopefully this helped you. I want to come back and do the second video so that you guys can have a choice. I didn't want both videos, the other video that I made, to run in, so it's an hour-long video. But I did want it to go and address that, okay? So any questions, just email me, Dr. Carmen Bryant, at outlook.com, DrCarmenBryant at outlook.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Make sure you hit the bell so you can be alerted whenever I come live or whenever I post a video. And you can also go to my YouTube channel, not my YouTube channel, but my Facebook page, which is Psychological Health Consultants and Services. And you are welcome to like the page, and you'll see the videos when they're uploaded. Please send me emails, comment on, and tell me what you guys think. Tell me some of your experiences. If you don't want to be known, or you don't want your name or whoever asked me the question, you want to stay, you're not anonymous, please email me and just let me know that as well, okay? And then also, it was Miss, let me look. Let me see, the one that I could not respond to, Miss Jackie Conrado. Let me know, because I couldn't find the comment, so I couldn't respond to you. And if you'd like me to read that, I will read that on air as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for all your support in the comments. You guys are the greatest, and go be great.